Yo, we bad, man. You're unstoppable, man.
Hey, 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 ho. Pop up in the presence of my niggas, we be perfect and person. Got my piece of the puzzle, but this piece be puzzling. Anka I piece nyanang person. Gaye nyani sipo nyana sidless poli. Ezani beats. Pop up in the presence of my niggas, we be perfect and person. Got my piece of the puzzle, but this piece be puzzling. Anka I piece nyanang person. Gaye nyani sipo nyana sidless poli. Ezani beats, our police.
A conversation.
You record it?
When I'm
Okay, yeah.
when I'm talking to somebody, right? I always reference it like when I'm speaking to an adult, right? Me, like you saying, I don't care what you think, right?
Yes.
But I don't mean I don't care in that sense. It's because, for me, I logicalize it in the sense of which, dude, I don't have the time to think whether or not the word that I'm going to use is going to offend you or not. But if you're adult enough, as I would assume, and Mina, I would like to be treated that way also, that when I say something to you and you say, hey, whoa, I don't like the word that you use. I would like a person to say that to me because I don't have a problem with that, right? I remember that night when we were just talking earlier on with Mina, we stayed up till 3 a.m. and we were going back and forth, right?
Yes.
And I kept on saying to you, like, it's fine. Even if my point is wrong, just listen to my point, right? And he says to me, no, but the way you started was wrong. And I said, okay, fine. Let me use the phrase that you'd like, but I'd still like to progress with my point because I can shift the goalpost with you. If you say, no, Themba, don't say it like that. It's for me, it's like, it's fine because, right, if I'm having a conversation with you, I'm trying to appeal to you. So I can't tell you things the way I want to tell you, whereas you are feeling offended or you're not feeling nice because I won't appeal to you. So for me, it's like, give me a chance to finish talking and then say, you are speaking trash, my man.
But because we are me and friends, in life, unfortunately, if I know, teach me how to love you. That is the same thing.
Yes.
Shuzi, I don't want us to go.
Can you repeat that again, please?
Teach me how to love you.
Yeah.
And that is how we start the show today. It is me and friends, and we are at Teach Me How You Love Me. This is Tweezy, Thembeliche, this is Themba.
Arnold.
Like
a soccer player name.
Patrick, Vilakazi. And I am Sizwe Lawrence Maseko, my shades, the Shade Gang.
Hey, King's West.
This is our in-house episode 7, and like you're in the midst of our conversation.
Yeah, I saw your name somewhere on a t-shirt, King's West.
We are starting now. We are starting now. So you were saying, friend, I'm going to repeat, and when I repeat the line, please just continue from there. Teach me how to love you. That's where I come from. In this, what you're seeing now, we are, for me, encompasses that. Teach me how to love you. And I will teach you how to love me.
100%.
By the way, I tell you, no, address it this way. So that I can take it this way. Because now I can easily take it out of proportion.
100%.
Because I don't know
100%.
where you were yesterday. I don't know what you're thinking.
100%.
But we're here to do a show.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, that's
100.
that's very beautiful.
101.
I love teach me how. Not teach me to.
No.
Because everyone has love, right?
Of course.
But how we love,
Of course.
right?
Yep.
It's a problem. Because now,
And with what we heard, we had earlier on, that's why I said you had euphoria, friend. Nah? It's not euphoria by euphoria, which I was, no, I mean, you met someone that appealed to you.
Yes.
Appealing.
Yes. Yeah,
and
that's
then
true.
your energy, unfortunately, we can't relate because
Felt
we don't.
like I existed somewhere before in my life.
In a nice world. I loved how you.
It's like I was missing out when he kept on speaking about this, even after we had forgotten about it. So when he keeps saying
so the frustration does not come from him; it comes from not getting the response that he wants.
I'm excited for him, but I'm like, me, I don't. I'm like, why am I feeling
guys? Know
not
your
so
friends.
excited?
Know your friends. Know why your friend is baby.
Guys, no, sorry, man.
That was genuine.
It was genuine.
I liked it because I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I
And
liked
he's
it.
just like, in the genuineness, why aren't you not getting it? And we got it, but we can't put it the way that you want us to put it.
Yeah. 100%.
Did you know, Guti, sometimes we don't need to do much just to show Guti we love someone, you understand? Some people, you'll be surprised how many people you had an actual impact in their lives that you probably met less than 10 minutes in your life. You understand? Just by you smiling, or just by you waving, or how you were handling your kid that day, or how you handled yourself in whatever the case is. You understand? So, in a nutshell, I don't know what I'm gonna say.
In a nutshell, okay. Yes, so it's me and friends. Friends, how are you? Are you fine?
We are good.
Very well.
Are you well? Are you well? It's Women's Month and
beautiful.
We are here.
Beautiful.
We are here. We are alive and kicking, right?
Yes,
And still things and bogodos of our lives are important.
Yes.
But today I wanted to talk about friendship. We just had an altercation before this. And let's talk about friendship. Last week we spoke about how we led on to, and you did say to the people that we need to speak to Amashita. So let's start at the beginning of what we think could make a good friendship. And I think people want to know this.
How you greet me, bro?
It's
It's as simple as that. How you greet me, the way you it's as simple as that. Niggas speak a whole a spiritual language before they talk a earthly language. That's the thing about man genes.
Okay.
You understand? That's
Are
what
they
I
aware though?
believe in. Yeah, so you don't need to say a lot to me. Yeah. The way you pay ngakhona vele say isugile mangabe isugile, or you understand? So let us start it there as guys. The introduction. Let us introduce ourselves to each other properly. So let us not assume, because I already have a picture of King Zwest.
You thought
Lawrence,
as I am sitting like this,
Exactly.
that's why he's sitting like this, for instance. And not that you guys say it, but young Shabazz about why is he being different. And you're right, friend, continue. King Zwest.
No, Themba.
Themba, what? You
Themba.
said salutations. You're mentioning a big thing.
You said what? What's that?
You said greetings, but which are salutations? How you
salute. So
Exactly.
Nah, that's very true.
I think for me, that's where it begins, and then we're still gonna obviously analyze that and all that kind of stuff. But I'm also want to hear
what's Mr. Intimidator.
Now that's true. Like I agree with you. I did have a conversation similar to that before, and my thoughts or my conclusions about it was actually the person was asking me, how do you make friends as an adult? You know what I mean? And my default answer was, I really wouldn't know how to answer that, because we as gents, it's almost like it's easy. Like I can meet a guy in a club in Tutuza just because we had good energy. So what he says about greeting, for me, I draw the energy out of that greeting, right? So from that, for me, then the interaction obviously will flow from that. You're right, Joe. The greeting is very important. I mean, it's like I've recently learned, white people, if you give a white, especially all of them, if you give a firm handshake, that determines whether or not you are strong, or whether or not I can have a conversation with you.
And you must maintain eye contact in the midst of
100%, you know what I mean?
You don't handshake looking at the hand.
Then they trust you more.
But
because
now, which is a different scenario to us as blacks, because
we
believe
white people,
respect is a
white
totally
people
different
are also, it specifies that you're not racist. Shooty, with black people, you're not going to go. You are not going to go to that thing. You are going to stand firm with him and have a conversation with him as a person or as a man or a friend, and not as a white person.
Dude, it's actually quite interesting, because a lot of handshakes I get from black people are very soft. And sometimes to some guys, like the guys that I normally joke with, especially at work, I'll tell like a bramang there, 40-year-old, 50-year-old guy. But because he's jolly and everything, he gives me that soft handshake. I'm like, hey, bro, what the hell are you doing?
But wait, is it a soft handshake?
Yes.
Because remember, us as we don't really greet in handshakes. So maybe there might be a reason why it's strong, because we're just doing it because we don't know it. That's not how we greet.
Yes.
It's black and white.
So is it specifically a handshake that you picked up?
And you said with the black people, right?
Yes.
With whites, we have discovered that
so
it's firm.
With
the soft one, why do you think that happens there?
So think about this, right? So I learned this from the white culture, right? But if you look at people that talk about masculinity and Andrew Tates and all of them, they speak about firm handshakes. Dr. Peterson, he talks about those things to say, dude, look, this is the first time that you're interacting with me. So I'm giving you my, what do you call it? First impression. So now, if I give you a firm handshake, one, I'm dominating that conversation, or I'm dominating that interaction. Why? Because I've already, now, the thing that I say that I do to Bramangmang. So Bramangmang gives me a handshake, a soft handshake. And my next reaction is, oh, man, wang niggas a manji handshake, a soft gang. Already the guy's asking himself, hey, this guy. Already, I'm almost like, at the head start of the conversation, because the next thing that I say there will be very dictateful. You know what I mean? So for me, I found that in that culture, right? Even outside the white culture, any masculine alpha that you meet, it commands respect. Because they believe, especially white people, because I learned that from them and they explained it to me. It's like, if you have a weak handshake, you are a weak man. So for me, I looked at it that way. But the respect that I was able to command with just a handshake, that taught me a lot. So that's why I started now doing it through black niggas, because I wanted to test the theory out to say, why are we like soft handshake, right? But I mean, that firm handshake conceals
and the question is, so with white people, it's a salutation, but it's because we don't know the culture.
It's a form of commanding respect.
The culture
yes,
is not similar.
So
that's how you command respect. So culturally, you say, I'm a man, I'm a man.
Yes.
So what shooting with black people, why do you think our salutation, that's cool as black friends, right?
Yeah.
And we have discovered that with black people. It's softer, and then you have to actually say,
yeah.
You know? Yes, director.
Director.
On the mic, okay. Why you zala? Why umbamba soft?
Because we don't take things serious. We talk too much.
So let's try and figure out how then, what the strength of salutations and greetings.
Yes.
How can we as black people also understand that there's no cultural difference? Or is it a matter of dominance?
Hey?
Okay. Sorry, director. Here. Twizy, please help me, my friend. The dominance. Shuti, you said then it does say to you, okay, I'm going to be dominant in this conversation. So with us, why does it have to start soft? Shuti, the people of culture, why are they failing to? Not failing, but have
proper
blurred lines, salutation.
No, it is because well, as far as I can remember about our people and all that, to begin with, our strongest man, first of all, is not in contact with anyone who is a regular communist. Community.
Oh, damn.
You understand? To begin with. So, us in the ranks of the strong guys and all that kind of stuff, they don't do that with anyone. Do you understand? So that's where that's where it differs, how we greet each other. Then coming down to the wise ones, the wise women, the wise men. All you can say is sabona from as far as you are. You don't even come close to them.
So you are saying entitlement. We know that you must be a king. You must be in the way that we present ourselves. We always go to that thing of we just know that as a man, I need to dominate. It's easier to come and dominate than to.
A man who's tested. A man who's being tested.
So exactly in you meeting Themba for the first time.
Yes.
What are you trying to achieve? As a black man, it goes to that. Do you want to show him that I'm a king as well? Or
yes, boy. Bro, like just
we are taught his reference. He referenced. That's why I'm going. I love reference.
Yes.
He said, the king. We come from that thing of the structure of we are kings as black people. So it's hard to when you meet someone, you want to portray yourself as the dominant one.
But
if you, oh, sorry.
Yes,
No, sorry. The thing is, I don't know if I'm understanding it correctly on how you guys are circling it, right? Like, maybe let me put it anti-clockwise. For me, it's almost like what you were saying is right. Like, for me, right, getting out of what you guys are saying is that we looked at hierarchy. We were taught hierarchy. There's only one king, Shaka Zulu, right? And he can only be the strongest man. He can only be the respected man. Every man under Shaka Zulu is subservient. Now, for me, I'm seeing that as we were not, I think, we were not taught that everyone or every guy should have that dominance, or every guy should have that masculine element, being the front of everything, because that's your protective layer as a guy. That's your first and last, because like one, you greet me in a certain way and I'm in my alpha zone. I think this nigga is weak. What do you think I'm going to do after that? Our interactions are going to be me about being Museveni, a dictator, because I'm looking at you and I'm like, oh, this guy. So that's what, when I learned that, right? And I'm like, oh, man, we are not taught to be in our masculine self. It's not culture to be like that. It's only up certain families, certain royalties, Abo Kuma, Labo Zulu, that could be that.
But actually,
normal, you're like, oh, serious. So for me, I feel like we were not taught that. Similarly to feminism. And because you see, white people, what I figured is that they were taught that every one of them is a king.
Yeah.
That's why the competition is those handshakes, right? We're competing for whose handshake is more firm or not. I find myself sometimes, you give that handshake, right? I didn't know how to do that handshake. So sometimes I'd come to you with my hand reaching out, right? And I'd miss the handshake, without my hand reaching out, and I'd miss the handshake. Until I realized that, for me to get the handshake without even looking at your hand, look at you straight in the eye, I always get it right. But now the respect that I commanded from those niggas, and I didn't even understand, okay, why I didn't understand, but it was because of how I behaved around them, because they looking at me like, hey, Themba, hey,
we're speaking about those steps. Then shoot the first part, you said introduction, and we said salutations, greetings.
Yes.
Then let's just conclude that. What I think, can I start? I agree with you. Vele masculinity. I think we need to, the awareness, Ushilo, what's Amatota, are mostly, they are aware. We all know that King Shaka Zulu Ramanje. When you meet someone else, it's that thing of competition. And survival of the fittest. It just happens that you don't want to come to a common ground of salutations. Strong, of course. So what I can say is that let's come to a common ground in our introduction as friends. For instance, let's be more. The hierarchy thing is engraved in our heads, but
the thing is, for me, it's that me or showing my dominance should not take away from you. But it's almost those parallel realities that we live in, that when you understand a different thing, I understand a different thing. So when I do it, it's almost like,
that's why we're teaching them. That's why we're teaching them. Find a way to come to a common ground in your salutations and your way that you introduce each other, or your foundation. The foundation.
Also, I have a different perspective.
Yes.
I also get greeted by this. On the other hand, I really haven't, because I'm still studying it in a way. Okay, why are they doing that? And thanks, I'm learning a lot from what Themba has actually said right now. Maramai, the reason why I didn't play along with it is because, Shaka Zulu was only a king to the Zulus. It doesn't mean that Shaka was the only king in the world.
That is why they also greet you that. That is why back
exactly. So it depends.
Exactly. Dominance. Marking your sorry to say that we are like animals, that we are the king of the herd.
Yes.
So as a man, you need in your greeting. So it's important to have a certain way of greeting as a man.
It is.
But then if you are building a friendship, then find a common ground to come back to. We still need to be friends.
And
that's not true. I'm bigger than you, or I am.
So I think my ground on this one.
Okay, yes.
Maintain eye contact.
Eye contact.
What I learned from the Westerns when they shake, the most important thing about the entire shake is to maintain the eye contact. If you don't maintain the eye contact, it doesn't matter how strong you are. You lost the handshake. So I think the taba di mahlung. So when we greet, you should be very careful. If I'm looking away, or I should be looking at your eyeball. Take a moment, you understand, and look through those eyes.
So moving right along. Let's move.
Of course.
The next point is, and then we said the first thing is greeting, salutation, introduction. You can even say that, how you met, how you greet each other, how you conduct the meeting of
the
conduction of the greeting. we move on to what's next. And then how then what happens? We are good friends to each other. We greet each other, however, but then what's next? What else do we need to do?
What's next?
So okay, let me give me a point. I'm making a point. My point is next is you should know the one thing about friendship and everything and how you even conduct how you meet someone. You must listen to them. So be a listener when you meet someone more than speak, actually. Speak when you're spoken to.
100%. No, 100%, dude.
When he greets you and says hi, then say hi, and then have that. Then they should have that thing, that eye
Don't
contact.
do the speech.
That moment will have that thing. Is this real or not?
You know.
Nice.
Wow. Yo, I just
hey,
thought of something.
Sizwe.
But you're right, my friend. You're right. For me, it just goes to just respect. I think that level of respect, I think you'll feel it as well. Like, we never mind masculinity and whatever. I think it's just the level of respect. Because for me, like you say, I don't do, well, I do it to you a lot, the firm handshake. But for me, it's almost like the dominance part for me is almost like the first time I meet you, I'll play that role because I almost anticipate it, right? So my handshake already, I'm anticipating that my handshake is going to be hard first. You know what I mean? Obviously, maybe that other guy's got a bigger hand than me and he dominates that handshake, but I'm holding on to that to show him that me as well.
Exactly.
But now, if we then interact after that, it's almost like what you were saying, right? That's when I start to get to know you and I treat you the way you want to be treated. You know what I mean? I can't be saying, I'm going to treat Tweezy, speak to him rough because me, I'm a masculine man. No, it's like, now I know Tweezy, I met him. He knows good Themba. When he starts speaking, he doesn't give anyone a chance type of thing.
But he listens.
But he listens, right? So me, when I interact with Tweezy, those are the little things that I pick up to say, okay, that's why now I'm not asserting dominance when I'm speaking to him because he's my friend. Already he knows
our salutations, we are past that stage.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because now I understand him. I know that, okay, he doesn't like that. He wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like this. Or even if I do something that I didn't know he doesn't like, I open that channel for him to be able to.
Okay. So Tweezy, based on listening, like speak when you're spoken to or listening.
Is it?
What's your take on that? Because Themba's referring to it by saying, "Vele, after that, then we have to find a way, a way to communicate to each other. Listening to you or you talk, whatever, but a common ground in communication. And, So, what is your take on that?
Don't beat about the bush. Yeah, Bonda, once you're done with the introduction, you don't beat about the bush. Yeah, Bonda, if most of the guys that I remember, strangers, that had the most outstanding meeting that I've ever had with, you understand? It's when it's umuntu mangumbona, angibone ditabat mahlung. Mangumbona yambona uthi angibona naye yabona uthi ngiyabona siyabonana. Then masiqeda ukubonana. Ngithi cabanga le taxi abafuna ukungibelisa. Athi yo futhi ngithanda bomama. Hayibo mntanami. Hayibo ingayenzeka kanjani? So things like it's the approach.
Of course.
You understand that? Then what do? You don't want to, because now remember we spoke of the introduction, which was mostly not even in words. You understand? It was what we are doing in context. You understand? But the introduction it's already made. But now what's the point of the introduction?
100%.
You understand? But now the point of introduction is that I'm looking at you, looking at me. So I see that you and me have time for you, and me I have time for me, and you have time for me. So since this is happening, by the way, I need to be in the podcast by now. So I'm not there. And then you're gonna see how easily that if those people can jump in there, then those are the people to go with. Mara magabe kuzoba umuntu ozotfollow me, dog. This is my Insta, bro. And then
so you're actually aiding to my point, right? So when I meant the masculine, the dominance masculine part, right? I actually mean, now that you showed me, it's assertiveness that I'm showing.
Nice.
It's either you're passive or assertive.
Not arrogant.
And in you,
it's not arrogant.
And in me meeting you, there must be an assertive one and a passive one. It does not mean that I am trying to overpower you, but in order for us to have a common ground and conversation, one needs to first say, I'm dominant, I'm aware that this is a salutation, for instance.
100%. 100%.
So yes,
Nah,
and then moving
good
on,
point.
yeah, shooting
Yes.
moving on.
That was nice.
That was nice,
Moving
guys.
on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on, Mr. Sakai.
I love
and
the
then
second
we've made the
moving on.
communication.
Yes.
Right?
We've the approach of the computing team. We introduce each
Yes,
other. We've
yes,
dissected
yes.
that, and then we approach each other. We meet again. It reminds me of the story that you told me about earlier on.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that guy that you
Themba
met.
Vilakazi,
The
yeah.
Themba Vilakazi.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, Isaac jumping now. So after that, and then we discover a way of approach and communication. Then what's next? And I'm not going to start now. Shruti, what do you think is next?
When you meet after that.
After the approach, and we discovered a common ground in communication, because the only way for us to see each other again is because I listen to you, you listen to me.
Yeah.
And it's okay, then we can sit again.
The second step.
The third one.
The third one.
Yes.
You start afresh. You don't continue. Good eye. Last this meeting, because we probably met now I was drunk when you were sober. So now we are meeting again. Now I'm sober. So now you come hugging me. Now I was drunk by that time. So we start afresh. We start afresh. Because that's the thing. If you want to have a genuine relationship, it shouldn't be something that anyone is used to. Otherwise, if you are used to me without choosing your mouth, I would be boring you.
And when you start afresh for me, I would say live in the moment.
Live in the moment. Don't say, hey, last week I should.
Yeah. You shoot it very
then I remember, oh, this energy. Then I'm like, hey, not. In fact, angisakwatelanga nalentingi ikwatela. Sengikwatele ukuthi sengihlangane nawo ukuthi now my uzongatheka and angikwazi usumngani wami ngisumngani ngoba ukwatise into zakho ngisho that English. But now this thing because now bathi amanzi la ke wama khona azobuyame khona. So it's not about the station, it's about amanzi.
Okay.
So amanzi mawangekho station as exist.
Yeah. And I'm saying I exist. Ngaphandle
kwamanzi. So it's about you and me. It's not about where or how we met.
It's about the relationship. So we're talking relationship here. That's what you are. So
the relationship amanzi.
You
take it friend.
For me. And for that, I would dissect it further and say, that's why we find life in water. The friendship or the relationship will be that's
took the words out of my mouth. I was gonna say
I'm sorry for taking the words out of your mouth.
My point was gonna be substance. The next thing that follows is substance.
Wow. Exactly.
If you don't have shit to talk to me about, or if I don't relate to the shit that you have to discuss, bro, it happens. It's energy. So it's not like I'll tell a guy, when you're talking shit.
Now we're not giving them guidelines on how to make friendship. We're just giving them
step 1, 2, 3.
It's not that. It's us just saying how we made it work.
Because what Twiz is saying is right. I mean, I've met so many people drunk Vilakazi, and then the following day I really don't have anything to say to you. Like I see you greet me, but I don't feel that energy for me to interact or go further is not there. Boy, it's all over Gumnandi. But like you say, that's a very good point.
Yes.
Actually,
can I move? Yeah, let me continue.
Yes,
not
please.
Not that I'm moving,
please,
but
now I'm gonna divert.
So what Shuti, you are saying, then find live in the moment.
Yes.
Themba says, then find a common ground.
Yes.
Shuti, what can we talk about?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you said, can I just please
start afresh?
Yes.
We don't relate.
These things relate, don't it's moments. And when I say, whether it's a fresh moment, it's a recurring moment, but then find why I'm seeing you again.
And that's the thing, because us as people, it's almost like we forget that we as people,
I feel like you're gonna say something very
we
serious.
are so connected, right? We are one, right? So we have to pour into each other. It's almost like the same thing I said. We live in parallel realities.
We have to pour. I was thinking, how are we pouring?
We have to because sometimes you meet people, you get into relationships with people or friendships with people only for that to destroy you. Because sometimes you, as a person, you're not at a point where you're strong enough for you to handle whatever is coming for you, and now you become friends with Twizy. Twins is a dominant factor and influences you to want to now influences you to want to be a certain way or be like him or whatever the case may be. It's almost like you just have to know who you are and pour into me, right? So if you know who you are, it's easy for you. I don't have to say, Sizwe, what can you teach me today? It's almost like whatever it is that you have to say, you know, I'm learning something.
And you're going to the point. We are not saying this is how you do it, but kuluma is all subconscious. It's naturally so.
Yes.
We are speaking figuratively, not literally. And we're not saying I meet someone today, I handshake them, I come. No.
Exactly.
That's the flow that we think works.
Yeah.
It's like being the best you, right? Today you wake up, I'm 17, you were outstanding, everything was good.
Pass there.
That doesn't mean good man is always superhero. You're still gonna have your days. You're still gonna 100%. So much what you are after is what? Is energy. Because energy can accept to go to okay. Okay, not a season years ago. We are told that blah blah blah. You are busy with your whatever you busy. Maramina if in kwatil, then nyaz good. Usizo mangfika vele. Vele ngithatha spotlight. Mangifika vele ngiyakhala la.
Yeah.
Ngifika vele sengikhabi itafula. Uyabheka obvious ukuthi ilipho ngal replace.
Khabelele plastic.
Hayi ungakhabi izinto manje ungazi replace manje. So ukwatile maye bodaki uphula amaglazi mara usawathenga kusasa. Yabona friendship naye mele siyilungise.
Kanjalo. For instance, let I show you it goes back to what he said. You meet me now with Kakasi, mhlambe uyangihaka and our salutation was not hugging. Not that that's the point, but
I feel you.
We have not had the second step unconsciously, so not aware. But so for now, when I'm going to Themba said, be careful of meeting people. I'm careful. I'm aware. I met this guy. There's interest in the friendship, but now, what jumpy stage?
Hey, Fitz, the energy, bro. That's the thing.
The energy. What you are saying, which is energy.
Who is stepping into this thing? Because it takes me a whole lot to have this. It takes me a lot. I mean, guys, we should also one thing that we should talk about as guys. What makes men men and what keeps boys boys? What keeps boys to be boys and what makes men because
and that's the next point to them. And then I need to see that are you a boy or a man?
Yes, because because
then I show you tell me you now more boy man or we man boy. Yes, continue.
A human is created, a man is made.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that
you can even go in the scriptures. Understand?
And you need to also.
Then God said, "Let us make them men and men in our own image." But before that, in the same chapter, He said, "Let us create man in our own image." But after He said that, He didn't make man. He continued then later on, then He made man.
You want to show him even in the spelling, but let us make man. Ushay MEN or in either or MAN.
Actually, in both of them.
Either or. Yes. What he means is first let's make human beings and then we make men.
Because if you quickly, whilst you are in that, because if you are God, people are asking, hey, how can Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit be one whilst they are three? In. Okay, here's
Holy Trinity.
You know what? Here's from me. Here's a simple question. If you were God, wouldn't you duplicate yourself? I mean, you are God. You created everything.
Guess what?
So kushukuthi wena as God, Thabiso, you still directly connected to the genes of Thabiso makahetheka kushukuthi wena uthi uNkulunkulu.
Dude.
Ayikho into enjalo bafethu akenimini kancane. uNkulunkulu futhi nala vele akekho. Vele mhlawumbe ubukele enye podcast efamous. Uyakhetha ukuthi hayi lezi sisacala. Mara singanyathi uNkulunkulu.
Simnika ijokeli ngekho. You spoke about that Themba when you were there and you said nalast sikhuluma ngayo ukuthi uNkulunkulu uyakulinda kusho ukuthi what is your problem? My problem is that the man is cheating on me.
Nice.
And you said besakulinda kubheka athi is that your problem? Utshela mina uNkulunkulu, utshela mina uGod. Utshela mina uGod uthi inkinga yakho yomjolo.
Uyakubheka nje athi Jesu no man. Dlala boy. Kudliwe wine.
You know,
ceda kusasa uthuka uNkulunkulu abantu mabaye
lokwenzele
hayi bafethu.
As this thing that you're saying, Twizy, like you say, I'm God, and you ask the question, if you are God, wouldn't you want to create yourself outside of yourself? Because that's what I believe, that God was like, "Hey man, I'm already good at these things. Let me just see myself outside of myself."
Cyber security.
But you're already doing that, Twizy, because you can make children. Now, here's the thing that made me realize that I'm God and how God looks at me, right? I have a daughter, right? When my daughter, I let's say for whatever I was taught, right? My daughter's doing something wrong, I'm gonna shout her because now I respond basically on how my subconscious was programmed, right? So the first thing ingane mayiganga, but then I saw when I do that, hey, this is wrong. If ingane very kale, mara iganga ingane uhamba uguqe phambi kwayo uthi hey man lalela la, this hey daddy doesn't like this way, hey this is wrong and what. I'm sorry, Daddy. And then Ufunuga explained. Now that's when I realized that, oh damn, she's my daughter. I gave birth to her, but I can't control her. I can't tell her how she should feel about something. If she cries because she couldn't tie her shoes, I can't say, yeah man, but you shouldn't cry.
Wow.
This is easy. What? It's fine. Yeah, Nukala, because you know what I mean. So it's almost like God created us through His image, who created duplicate. But it's almost like He's there outside to guide us. But so ultimately, whatever you become, it's out of your own doing. Right? That's why ingane.
With that analogy, I'm going to that thing.
Yes, sir.
uNkulunkulu angathini mangabe bekuvuye obhekele umuntu uzothi icathulo kumele uzifake mntanami kushuthi then kumele ufunde ukuzifasa nyaka uhambe ngeenyawo emhlabeni kushuthi uza nayo kahle mntanami learn to do it now because you're going to wear these for the issues are what you go with every day.
What's the population in South Africa?
60 million.
60 million.
Yeah.
So you are God.
100%.
So hey 60 million nguNkulunkulu yazini ne akunandaba nani
like in buyer too much
lo ozokhumbula
ndoda
ngizabe ngila
ndoda
mara ke ukuthi ke senibaningi kanje
la next door eNigeria by 200 million thina si60 bona by 200 million ungitshela ukuthi ubizi uyasho ukuthi you loan inwele ezi 15 million
Themba
lo uneyinkinga zawe zeinyawo
Themba uphuzile amabhiya wabantu ubamba ibhanje sodakiwe manje ufike endlini uyazi ukuthi uyabhayizisela ufike endlini naye papa nebisi kumele
wani ngapheka nginyama
ha nangoke sekavusa umfazi ngindoda mina ngidla inyama ngasiki wena sike wena musufry leyo nyama le mina ngindoda kuphi
that's why ngasebenzi kuyothenga inyama ukuthi bayibuye
bayitshela ukuthi uNkulunkulu lapho uNkulunkulu hayi mina wafeta mabami kancane
mara uNkulunkulu bheke ukhona lapho mara ubukele into beshow Themba ubhekelele ukuthi ukhala ngani
ubhekelele ukuthi ngizweni
ukhala ngendoda uyindoda wayengathi uNkulunkulu wena uthi indoda iyasebenza yikho kungananyama kakho kudliwa basi ngoba utakiwe mara unayi
angisho washe eGarden of Eden ukuthi sozodla umjuluko wani wempandla yakho manje thina sisathandaza
you are what you eat
but hey
you are what you consume baba literally that's it and that's the thing hey but lendaba le it's easy but at the same time it's almost contradictory because when you start talking like that people interface this with religion and go like you're talking about God now this which hey man
yeah but people who can respond like that it makes sense because now we know they are not in our lane
and
because now
our next point in this
yes
you are saying after that communication they discover do they know rather the God in them
yes
because when
in them
yeah
not the God who created
the
them
God in them
ayisho isilungule
in them
anko sure
in them that's okay because
translation
translation is
angifuna abantu bathi kusasa hey bazenza abafundisi
yes
amen babuza into esingayazi you know mamela what we are doing right come on man
the God in them because
who ordained Moses to be ubani ke ordained Moses ubani of uMoses uke wayenza 12 steps of prophesying 12 steps of turning of opening the rivers 12 steps of turning a stick into a snake uMoses usifunde lezinto lezi no like we don't have reference for that maramai today thina masikhuluma ngoNkulunkulu mele siyo ordain wabafundisi abadlisa abantu tshani
amen
again men kancane siyadlula lawo research
nami sima lapho ukuthi then sima lapho yandla can I just
no I was saying I just wanted to finish this point picking up from what he's saying because I wanted to actually almost like ask a question to you guys right since he's
ask the question
ask to him because he's closing
so do you believe that for you to reach, let me say, ultra God level, for you to reach the pinnacle of God level,
all right,
do you think you need to be rich for that to happen?
Definitely not. Even rich is the wrong. If you use wealthy, then I would have thought some type of. But rich, nah,
okay. Let me put it this way, right?
But rich how?
I was about to say
rich how? In what aspect?
I was about to say, right? Okay. Let's say wealthy, because wealthy encompasses obviously
financially
rich and abundance and what, right?
Okay.
The reason why I asked this question is because I'm not understanding why the authors of spiritual literature in this world that we're using today, all of them were rich. All of them were wealthy. Why am I saying that? Look at Buddha. Buddha was born in a flippin' rich family in a kingdom. And Christ, which is Zeus, which is Jesus, that guy, he was abundant. He had abundance around him. Like he could command things. Look at Muhammad. Muhammad was resourceful. He led almost 83 or 80 wars in his lifetime. That guy was rich. To wage a war is money. He was rich as fuck. Krishna was known for opulence. Is it Krishna?
Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna.
Yeah.
Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Opulence, Baba. Diamond mega jai kolite left, right, and center. Now you mentioned Moses. Wasn't Moses born in an Egyptian rich family? Now all of these guys that supposedly are authors of spiritual literature were wealthy as hell. And wealthy, I mean money.
Yes.
But it's because now, okay, let me answer you. What I think is God is you must see what he wants you to become. That's why Bible says but they were rich in spiritual form. So you must see the God in me. No, yes, I must know that at least there is something, that you believe in. And if it's not what I believe in, brother man, then I will move away. You believe in something else. But I know there's a God in you, but it does not relate to my God. That will make us not slangani.
And even these guys you mentioned, the background was rich. But whatever they did it independent.
Thank you.
Which they neglected.
Which again, that's why.
But now, which again is an advantage.
That's why I'm saying, because they are like, for example, the story of Buddha. Buddha was born rich, and then they opened the gates, and it was like, "Hi, bo, uban lord kabish." Why would that nonsense? It's almost like when you are the simple example. Abo Bill Gates, they don't wear Gucci's. They wear those Ackermans, but they're billionaires. It's like you don't care about money when you get to the ultra money. Right? So that's when you go like, oh, so money was at the end of the day nothing. It meant nothing. Like that guy Solomon, was it the richest guy in the Bible?
Yes,
or whatever?
it is.
That guy, what was his last lesson at the end? He was like, after all the riches,
everything
after all the 17 million women I had, everything was worthless. Why did it? It took him to be rich for him to see that, oh shit, this is nothing. And he started looking towards himself. So that's why I'm asking.
Themba, cut it.
Yes, hey, boys.
That topic is way too high. You need to cut it.
Then, guys, Nisha, it is simple. The next point is I must discern. I must see if there's the most well a God in you.
I love the term.
I'm not checking that there's a God in you, but I am checking that you have a point of spiritual reference. And if it does not align with mine, that means for me personally, then I can't be your friend. I'm strict with that. You cannot be, but for me, I'm just like, if it's done.
Ngakhulumanga uNkulunkulu ukuthi wena uyangijaja uthi baphuze utshwali mina ngeni la
exactly
and angifuni ne platform yakho mara lo engizohlangana naye ngifuna ukuthi masivula le bhe ngithi mntakwethu singamadoda
You're starting another topic because again, also why do we?
Please don't
oh my God! Why do we reduce?
You are putting your point across.
My God! Why
yes,
do we?
Go there.
Yes, sir.
Why do we reduce God to this little God who cares about whether Themba drinks alcohol or not?
Does
he care?
Like God, yamabhiyana ithuse kandakiwe uNkulunkulu okuzalile wena. Themba kanti uthini? Oh, bazothestakiwe.
Now here's the thing.
I'm gonna go to what you. Let me show you. Why do you think God cares about Sizwe being whatever he is? And I want to shoot you such things. Why ucabanga ukuthi uNkulunkulu unendaba nokuthi uSizwe?
Nah, I think God cares about his creation,
He'd
not
be a very
us.
petty God, that one.
But also it includes us because we are part of his creation.
He's not the abandoned one.
No, actually.
He's all-knowing, this guy. He's all-knowing.
If you created the ship, would you care ukuthi your clothes are torn up? You created something that creates, that makes wool. Marama is so far ivestinyane. Ivestinyane suit nyana is so mfundis.
And Themba said, you went to reproduction, you said, for me, I go, maybe not reproduction, but otherwise, I can create healing conversations.
Dude, anything.
Hey, bro,
you can create bad energy.
Exactly.
You can create good energy.
Anything, but you can create.
Yeah. Your thoughts are a creation. As soon as you think about something, that's a creation already.
So, umuntu ongazi I can create. And not in the physical form, not umele nje ukuthi utshele ukuthi yenza kanje yenza kanje or
you're waiting for God to answer
crazy,
what your creation is.
You are
God, I'm looking for a job.
Lento ekuyenzile. Yeah.
God cares.
Unyatsa lento le ekuyenzile.
Ucabanga
ukuthi uNkulunkulu la khona ne. Hey,
and if he knows that you are aware that ucreator uyakupropela ntona yami.
Udla umkholo ayisho udla umkholo wonke awusana nkazi i15. Avela uNkulunkulu vela la exist.
Mina life yami yabheka jo. Why ngihlala ngibroke?
Akunamuntu obheda njengomuntu. Ethina siyabheda. Mina nokumtshela ngithi ndoda mangabe umamele, in fact umamele marakele. Ethina siyabheda thina. Udakiwe abakushelanga. Bakushaya isandla ile cherry leg dala uyifuna from 1880. Mara manje ngoba ignore life ugijimisa into create life ucama ukuthi into create life ingakansara kanjani ungazi lento eyicreateile hayibo wasikele
asike ngathi ngiyazi ukuthi ngiya creator mara ngathi creator ngakunikeza
abantu bathi sikholelwa kuNkulunkulu
as long as uwazi ukuthi we are creator where the creator is mara exactly we are creator because you were created as well and in his own image, the image that is most powerful than anybody in any way. And
namhlanje ilanga lokugcina Nkosi yami
makube mnandi empilweni yami
makube mnandi Nkosi yami
you know mina I asked
mina nguNkulunkulu ne
ufunani into ifunayo le
angikho ngikho
Saturday one shoot uyifuna namhlanje lento leyo into emengabisa impilo yakho leyo today you want to have a good time so I must stop the world from spinning and give you a good time yeah
so uyikholwa wena hayi mina nguNkulunkulu yini yonke
ngeke ngahlala ngangafundi for economics matric mangifika lapha ngabona ukuthi le exam izongidribula ngathandaza before exam before singene wona ngathandaza ngafaila yenye into engasuka
mamela ufaila
ngithi manje kanti ngifeleleni ngoba ngimcelile lo muntu ngidesperate kanti lo muntu uyenzani
bafethu sihluleka ukustudisha for exam
ongafunda
esazi ukuthi something that you know ukuthi you're gonna write you are a human being you have books you are in a room which is called a class which is in the school which is in the community you are there you are studying here's a book study it you are writing an exam
you want a miracle
I'll study issue God exists
uyophuza utshwala mara bona isikhathi sokuphuza noThemba uyabuya uthi uNkulunkulu ngisana isikhathi sele 3 hours mele ngiphase
there's this term my mom used to hate so much and you remember my mom was a very stooge Christian there was this term that people that didn't go to church or what they viewed as abomhetin they like saying people that didn't go to church right they always like saying says uNkulunkulu unceda laba abazinceda my mom used to hate that because she's like hey yini lento le because the translation she got was almost different from what this person meant right but I've realized that the people that were saying that also didn't understand what that meaning was because they were saying that just to dismiss the Christians not to judge them
but now they didn't understand how powerful
we are defensive
what they said
but listen to this statement uNkulunkulu unceda laba abazinceda exactly what I'm saying if I want to pass for an exam I need to study
you study it's as simple as that
they being literally
it's as simple
shuthi umuntu esho abantu abadala bayayithanda lento leyo hayi noma ungayenzani uNkulunkulu usiza basiza what do you mean
where does that come from
uthini
yogcina yena
mina
mangiphilayo yogcina yena kanjani ngoba uwo yogcinayo sikungcwaba
ngifuna mangithatha ngifa angithathe ngazi ukuthi ngiphiliya ngiyazi ukuthi ngenzani yabona
yeah I mean
manje yogcina yena bila ngazi ngiyofanele but at least you must find me on Wednesday my boy let's go you've been a champion you've been a nigga
you know I've had these questions so much now like I'll refer back again to church and my mom right just make last point you know why I am because I used to ask my mom these questions because there was a point where grade 11 grade 12 I started asking questions I'm like why do I have to go to that church mom hey you live under my roof you can't but I started questioning things right because me and my mom were very close right so I could openly speak now I asked her I said Ma let me ask you a question. Since 2000, since 1999, Sahlale Blessbok, I remember about 1999, 6 years or something. I asked my mom, you guys been semaranata kabochosvad nthandazela uba aboba ama husband wenu and 90% of those women that went to the church or went to church, their husbands were drinking alcohol. But mina, what I would hear, Bashayama prayer meeting ekai, my mom would pray for my dad to quit alcohol and join church. Guess what? From 1999 to 2012 until my mom died, my dad never went to church. He never quit alcohol. He's still drinking alcohol today. So now my question is, right? Because people,
God did not hear that.
My man, and everyone, when my mom died, they're like, yo. Als Cookie was so loyal to God. She loved Murena Jesso so much. Why?
Why was she praying?
Can we talk about this?
Why didn't we answer that? Why didn't God now say anything for that person that was so dedicated?
Themba,
What
this
were
is
we
too
missing?
sensitive, man.
Where? What are we missing?
Why are you praying for the wrong thing?
Why?
Why?
You know, why?
Why?
Bro, why? Right. And I want to
Ish,
since ego yakho ukuthi ngifuna my husband, ngifuna my wife to stop drinking. Then you involve God and start praying. Whereas, wow.
Where did Jesus
why?
teach anyone, excluding his disciples? Because I don't see it where he taught his disciples. When he taught his disciples how to pray, it wasn't pray for anyone. It wasn't praying for anyone or anything.
Asking.
But it was what? A prayer. Listen to what a prayer is. It's not my prayer. It's a prayer.
A prayer.
Our Father. So it's no longer about me who's praying.
The song we listen to the other time now was what the song is called A Prayer. That song says a prayer, but she says, can you mold me? Can you make me? But it's a prayer. A prayer, not my prayer. Can you mold me? Literally,
friend,
mold me, make me. Guys, we have to. Director is complaining.
Can you wrap it up?
The battery is done.
So everything else you want to see outside of you starts with you. So whatever it is, work with it inside, right? And then you'll see the results. Or you should be able to see the results, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, for me, it's almost like, man.
Friendship is not
out there. Yes.
100%.
So you need to project it.
100%, dude. Because if I feel heavy energy meeting up with you and I still meet up with you, what am I? Fake as hell, right?
Yeah.
What am I?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
am I?
So if I'm a genuine friend, I should be able to tell you, hey, listen, yeah, friend, not today, right? So it's almost like we as people need to just learn what we are as people and just reflect that.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Thank
I don't
you.
have to be me trying to impress Tweezy.
Yeah, but we need to learn about us.
So you'll be a better friend if you know yourself. That's what
you'll
I'm
be a
saying,
better husband, you'll be a
You'll
better boyfriend, you'll be a better friend, you'll be a...
if you know yourself.
You'll be a better you.
You're a better
if you know yourself.
Hey.
And you are a better you, which is more important. Friend, any last words? God is God, and God is love, and
just read his brain. There's 500 words. I just saw his brain go. Whoop.
Yeah, and that is how we wrap the show today, guys. It's episode 7 of the In-House. We're loving the comments. We're loving the interaction that you guys are doing with us. We will see you again,
dude. I want to speak about Nicki Minaj.
We'll see you again.
Nicki Minaj. After God.
We love you guys.
It's friends and me and friends, eh?
I love you.
We are those people.
Thank you very much.
Oh my. Sorry guys,